Okay, we're going to do this video again. I videoed this earlier. I'm not sure if people could hear me on the sound, maybe some disconnection there, so I'm going to try this video again. 3 best uses of bands that I picked up in Lidl today. Look like this on the box. There's a little lady in the box, and it comes with a lot of exercises we can see there. Most of them are a complete waste of time because most of them focus on here. Most people's shoulders are already quite tight. You don't need to do more frontal raises. This is one of the exercises they suggest. So again, like, there's nothing wrong with this. It's just more like, what do I see on a daily basis that I'm fixing with clients? So we need to kind of consider that, because this is my job, this is what I help people do. And what do people need more of and what do people need less of? Most people need less of trying to overwork the front of the delt because their shoulders are already quite internally rotated. So some of the exercises they could suggest, let's say I take the band, I do a front raise. This is supposed to be the easy strength band. I'm going to work extremely hard to just be able to do a front raise with that. Or an upright row, you know, I'm working pretty hard on being able to do any of those movements. A couple of them are all variations of that sort of like shoulder position, you know, hard shoulder position to be in. Better uses of the bands. Okay, number 1, we need to get the shoulders back. So we take the end of the band, go to right to the very tip, arms up nice and straight, have some tension on the band so the band is not slack, and then in that position, pull it down and back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Too hard to begin with, no problem, have the band. 1, blah, 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 blah. Gets a little bit easier, move the hands in a little bit closer, okay? And also, they did have the same band in red, and that's supposed to be like the medium strength. I don't know what you'd be using that one for, because it's a little bit tougher. So even just doing a band pull apart with a red band, I'm gonna have to work pretty hard to be able to do it with a red band. So I would suggest start with a blue, only buy the red if you're really gonna be using it for some of the stretches that I mentioned. Another good exercise along with that, if we want to work on the shoulders, is a simple shoulder dislocate where I'm just rolling it over and back, okay? And again, as I get it to an overhead position, I'm spreading my arms a little bit as much as I need to get it in that 180-degree position. If you really struggle, again, go wider on the band. If it's easier, go narrower. And there are 2 great exercises to help with getting the shoulders down and back. Second exercise, we're going to take our band, work in on the glutes. Most people are quite tight and need a bit of activation in on the glutes. So cross the band up, do our X-band walks. Just make sure that the feet, as I take that step, the feet at no point kind of come together, because now it's so hard to move it at all. So just make sure you put lots of slack on the ground to start with, and then the feet always kind of stay slightly apart the whole time. Some people call them a crab walk as well. Keep the knees soft, take about, you know, I could probably get in this room like 8 steps up, 8 steps back. Do it with your band pull apart, some shoulder dislocates. Maybe then you need a bit of core work along with that, which doesn't address the problems most people already have with their range of motion and their basic strength as well. So if you pick them up from Lidl this week, they are only about €6 each. I got a whole bundle for them because I thought it was a great deal. They're pretty strong. Just make sure when you're doing the X-band walks, you're not dragging your foot across the ground when you do that. You're picking your foot up every time, otherwise you keep dragging it across the ground, it's going to tear. So just make sure you're not doing that. We could also use the band for stretching as well. That's also mentioned on my website a number of times. It's an excellent way to work on stretching your hips and your shoulders, because you're pulling it one way, band's pulling it the other. I would probably go for something a little bit stronger if you're using it mainly for stretching, or if the stronger one would be mainly for assisting you on getting some chin-ups as well. And they're selling chin-up bars as well, and they're selling some foam rolls. So really cheap piece of equipment that anybody could get started on straight away, and tends to address a lot of the most common problems we tend to work with on clients on a daily basis. Hope that was help, guys. Share around if you feel it could help others out there that need to kind of get the basics down. Thanks for listening and watching.